And say good morning to everyone, and welcome to this Totara community webinar. An introduction to Em Matthews, so Head of Learning and Development from Kent NHS and Medway. And Emma will be talking this morning with Rebecca and Shelley from Chambry Learning Solutions. So I'm just going to hand over to them and say a big welcome and congratulations on winning your Best Compliance Project for 2018. So I'll hand over now, and I'll be quiet. Our next, we'll be doing more of these webinars, and our next one will be on the 28th of March. Okay, I'm going to stop my video and be quiet now. So introduce you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rebecca from Chambry Learning Solutions. And
I'm Shelley, I'm from Chambry Learning Solutions also.
And we've got Emma.
Okay, I'm Emma Matthews. I'm the Head of Learning Development from KMPT.
Great, we're going to go straight into it. So Emma's just going to start off with a little background on KMPT. So go ahead, Emma.
So we're a mental health trust in England, Kent and Medway. We're one of the larger mental health trusts in the country, and we serve about 1.7 million people. We employ around 3,500 staff who are located on 66 buildings on 33 sites, which is quite a challenge. We're commissioned to provide both secondary and inpatient mental health services. So a bit of background to the start of our journey. In March 2018, we were given just 6 months notice that our existing LMS would be shutting down. We'd used this system for over 15 years, and with 6 months notice, we didn't actually know if it was a challenge that we could actually achieve. We set about identifying exactly what we wanted from a new LMS, and most importantly for us, we wanted user engagement, and that could really only be achieved by having a system that was really accessible and easy to use. Secondly, we needed a system that could provide mandatory training compliance for information to managers as staff as soon as they logged in. So we were regularly inspected by the Care Quality Commission, and in fact our most recent inspection was in November of last year. And having this system and readily accessible information on training meant the data collection process wasn't such a task, which has been in the past. iLearn, which is what we've called our Totara system, was actually highlighted by our board to the CQC inspectors as a significant achievement that we had and we wanted to celebrate. Patient care is absolutely our main priority, and what iLearn has enabled us to do is build very role-specific certifications, and mandatory training is therefore completely tailored to an individual's role. This has helped staff take responsibility for their own learning and development. And as I said previously, user engagement was our #1 requirement, and it could only be achieved by having an easy-to-use system which was fully accessible to all staff.
That's great. Thanks for that, Emma. We're just going to run through the timeline quickly. So in May 2018, Chambry and Kent started their contract. And by August 2018, we had all of the current user data in, we had all the learning history in, and all their seminar bookings current and past. So it was a quick deployment. So we're going to run through the solution, and the solution was Totara, particularly the homepage design. We believe that is the main purpose of the LMS for compliance, and it's imperative that the end user has access to the information from the second they log in. So as you can see on the screen, this is their homepage. This is the first thing the user will see. So on the left-hand side, they've got a custom dynamic info block where they can change their manager if their manager is not correct at the moment. And then that also informs Emma and her team when someone has changed their manager. And then we've got buttons right in the middle for their essential training. And then we've got a couple of extra buttons so they can see what's happening in the future. In the future, they're going to have nurse revalidation. They're going to have appraisal and supervision, which at the moment is in pilot stage. So there is forms at the moment that people are testing, which I think is going well, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah, absolutely, going very well.
Great. And then we've got the training catalogue, which is just a catalogue of all the training courses that they can go on. And most importantly, they've got a button that takes them straight to their compliance reports, which we'll go into in a bit later. And then on the right-hand side, we have the dynamic info blocks, compliance blocks. So you can see straight away it's traffic light fiend, red cross at the top. You're not compliant in 6 courses. Make sure you go in and do them as soon as possible. You can click straight into it. When you click in, it takes you straight to the certification, which then takes you to the courses you need to do. Then you can see you've got amber in the middle. 3 are due to expire in 90 days. They're coming up. Think about doing that. And then you've got your 15 compliant, which is brilliant. Great tick there. So let's go to the next slide. So you can see that was the staff homepage. Here you can see the manager homepage on the left, which is slightly different. You can see here that straight away the manager can see their overall team's compliance in a donut format. And they can click into that in the green section. That'll take them to all the courses and certifications that their staff members are compliant in, and the red one will take them to what they need to do so they can chase these people up. And again, they've got the same buttons in the middle and the same buttons on the right hand side. Now, Emma, because these dynamic info blocks are really easy to use for the admin people, Emma went away and created her own dashboard here for supervision. So Emma, do you want to talk through your supervision dashboard?
Yeah, absolutely. So this dashboard here is specifically for the pilot that we're running. So you can see that actually there's quite a lot of text at the top, which wouldn't exist in the final dashboard. Essentially what we wanted to do is just make it very easy for someone to click from their homepage and then get to the second dashboard, which is their supervision dashboard. And very simply, it gives them their current supervision, their past supervisions, and for managers, there's a third button, which is team supervisions. And what we wanted from this dashboard was just for them to be very accessible, but also for all of the relevant information and resources to be available on this screen. And yeah, I basically managed to create this myself. It was extremely easy. I'm not a technical person whatsoever, but I've just found this system to be very user-friendly.
That's great, good. Right, the reporting dashboard. Shelley's going to tell you about this.
Okay, our dashboards, we believe that there needs to be an intuitive way of providing the most important set of information on the LMS interface in plain language. It needs to be as easy to read as possible for the end user. This can range from renewal, one-off and appraisal compliance shown in either graphical illustrations or contextual data. Fully interactive with links to view more detailed reports if needed. On the left-hand side, so we've got the donuts again, illustrating my compliance. So you've got the green and the amber being 90 days. And then you've got me and my direct reports, so my direct staff underneath me. And then the one at the bottom is showing me and my wider team. So it's my team, my direct team, and my indirect team. So you can see it all the way down the path. And then in the middle, you've got my required learning. Because there's no, in the red, there's no required learning, so there's no out-of-date training that needed at the top to be done. And then underneath that, you've got our RAG reports, which instantly, me and my direct team, the manager can actually see what members of their staff need to do, what courses, and they can chase them on that as well to drive compliance.
So here we've got the brand new organisational RAG. Now the organisational RAG is set up like a pivot table, so you can choose it by audience and by what certifications you want to show. So at the moment this one has one particular department, which I can't remember the name of, and then it goes through into which certifications, the overall compliance for that department, a certification per certification. And then when you click into it, it takes you down to that next level, which then splits up to which organisations inside that department. And then it takes you down again to the individuals in there. As you can see, on the left-hand side, there would usually be usernames, but we've had to take that out. And then you can see all the data. And then this is all exportable as well. Okay, the results. Cambridge went live with Totara Learn in September 2018 with 3 months. They are enjoying over 81.3% engagement and an average of 88.64% compliance for all core training. And we think that is pretty remarkable on the timescale. So well done to you. We've got external staff users that are external to the organisation, such as trainee doctors and nurses, can log in and gain access to local courses via dedicated dashboards. This opens up learning with the LMS to external audiences, bringing face-to-face training, seminars, conferences and online learning to your students, volunteers and local staff. We've got non-clinical staff that can view dashboards that fully show interactive blocks illustrating their personal compliance across managed training with e-portfolio and appraisal information within 1 click of their homepage. Clinical and medical staff, qualified clinical and medical staff can view dashboards that show their personal compliance across targeted core training. And in the future, with the additional CPD, e-portfolio revalidation, appraisal, supervision and study leave, information will all within 1 click of this main dashboard. We've got managers. Managers log in and immediately see their compliance, but with the additional viewing their fully interactive direct and indirect reports of staff, graphical data informing them of their teams and wider team compliance without any further clicks, instantly giving them necessary tools to improve compliance of their own staff. When they see red, they act. When managers see green, they can relax. We've got senior manager and board members, reports at their fingertips with full exportable functions in pivot tables for immediate use without any Excel knowledge, reducing admin time and in producing reports. And then finally, we've got administrators. System admins have their own dashboard, which will include direct links to the systems to the area they often utilise. They don't need to fully rely on Chambray for this. It's all designed so that their administrators can manage their dashboards locally and any blocks that they can have mix and match, so they can design it themselves to form a series of targeted interactive dashboards to meet their ongoing organisational and staff professional requirements.
So since the introduction of iLearn, it's now up to 82% of staff have accessed the system. 76% had accessed it within 12 weeks, which we, knowing from what our previous system was, we knew it was a massive achievement. I don't think we actually gained that in 15 years of our previous system. What staff have really enjoyed is being able to see immediately what their essential training is, what they're in date with, when they're due to expire, which is really key for us because we run an NHS organisation and our staff are our main resources. To know when a manager can send someone on training is absolute paramount and essential to making sure that ward is covered. So it really allows easy rostering. We've actually allowed it's brought about a culture of change actually as well, making employees responsible for their own training, which was something we hadn't expected, but it's something that we've certainly embraced. From a learning management point of view, what iLearn has given us is the ability to better manage compliance and better plan what training we offer and, more importantly, where. And it also has allowed us to access the wide range of resources that the national e-learning platform has already built, which means that we have really accessible information and learning. What we can also do is put our resources into other areas as well, because we're not constantly building our own e-learning and reports.
That's great, thanks Emma. So we're just gonna open up to questions now. I'm just gonna open up my chat and see if we've got any questions here. So if you've got if you've got any questions, can you type them in the chat, please?
No, we weren't using a national ESR OLM system. We were using a platform called @Learning. ESR was one of the systems we looked at before going to a Totara system, and it just wasn't fit for purpose. It didn't meet our needs, unfortunately. How do we measure user engagement with the platform? So we measure user engagement whereby they've logged into the system. We also measure user engagement in terms of how frequently they log into the system as well.
Yeah, and I think it's also based on course completions as well.
Absolutely. What we did see from when so taking data security, which is something that people need to do via e-learning, they need to do it every year. Yeah. For the first time ever, we've managed to achieve 97%. And it was always teetering on kind of 90, 89%. Since the introduction of the system, we've actually managed to maintain it about 97, 98% for a few months now. And we believe that that is all down to using this system and how easy it is to actually access e-learning.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Any more questions? What do you mean by mobile UX? All the dashboards are tested on, if this is what it's about, all the dashboards are tested on mobile devices and they're all responsive. That's including all of the dynamic info blocks as well. They just squeeze to the screen size. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're currently on version 11 at the moment with Totara, and we're currently upgrading, looking to upgrade very in the near future to Totara 12. So we're really looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to the course catalogue and the new features on Totara 12. So looking forward to that.
We don't use programs as well as certifications. The main reason being is that the reporting doesn't work as well with it doesn't work as well with the program and functionality. So all our one-off all our one-off courses, we actually build as certifications. We just put a 200-year update on it, and our staff are quite satisfied with that.
Yeah, that's so you can have it all in the RAG report as well.
Absolutely. The different types of courses we have. So we have lots of online e-learning courses which cover various range, just your generic kind of fire, health and safety. But we also have ones that are very specific to mental health, like the Mental Health Act. We also have classroom-based courses, which again covers mandatory training, but also some that are very specific to mental health.
Yeah, we migrated all the previous completions and data and all the previous seminar bookings. They were all brought through.
What I will say is that we worked very hard kind of during July and August to make sure that we, whatever we had on our previous system matched what we had on our new system. And that was a lot of line by line checking just to make sure that the data was absolutely accurate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, we configured the reports by audiences. Coming from a system that didn't use this previously, I thought it was going to take myself and my team a bit of a time to get our head around, but actually, in reality, we got used to how audiences work very quickly. We have about 3,500 staff that are employed, but we have, in addition, we have probably about another 200 to 300 users that maybe volunteers, maybe external staff as well.
Okay, the donuts, they were actually a CLS plugin that we've actually built ourselves, so we've customised it and put a plugin within Totara, which one of our you okay?
Sorry, yeah, no, it's fine. My speakers just fell on the floor.
It was a dynamic info block that we've actually built with our developers. Thank you. Yeah, it's our own dynamic info block. You're welcome.
For web streaming at the moment, there is obviously the WebEx plugin that some of our customers use, but we also use Google Hangouts because it's free and it's really easy to use.
And we also use Big Blue Button as well, which is really nice. It's a plugin which is really installs into a course, just like you would do a SCORM or anything else. And it actually records it and then embeds it within the course as well, the video recording, which is quite nice.
Any more questions?
Okay, so in relation to the main areas of success, it is about getting our staff to access a system which they weren't inclined to do before. It's accessible on the mobile, it's accessible on a tablet, and that is our main area of success. If they are able to access a system and access the reports, the traffic light system is by far the most recognisable part of the system for our staff. So what they will do, if they feel that something's wrong, they'll say, look, I've looked at my red button and I'm not out of date with that course. In fact, I did it yesterday or something like that. So that's one of our main areas of success, which has made compliance with some courses increase dramatically. How many courses do we create? So we have possibly, I think we have about 500 courses that we do on an annual basis. And I think that amounts to something like 30,000 places on different courses. How many people were involved in each side of the project? So from the customer point of view, I was the project manager from the customer point of view. I had one full-time person working on it for about 3 weeks, who was helping me to build the audiences and the certifications and doing the testing. And we also, in the end, took our whole team, which is probably about 7 whole-time equivalents, and we shut down for 2 weeks and we just literally did testing and inputting for the whole 2 weeks. So, but it was many late nights.
And then from CLS side, it was myself, Shelley, and just a couple of developers. Yeah.
In terms of how many people were allocated full-time on the migration, that was no people. We weren't all full-time. We had to continue providing a learning and development service. So it was all done in addition to our existing jobs. I think that it was very stressful. We did a lot of overtime, I must say. But we knew that we had to get it right come go live, otherwise the user engagement wouldn't be there.
Okay. If you tailor a dashboard into a particular job role and the employer changes role, is it easy to change their personalised dashboard? Yeah, because if you've got, if they fall out of a particular dashboard, they completely change role, they will just, because it's assigned by audiences, they will drop out of that audience and go into the new audience, therefore they'll have access to their personalised dashboard. If they change departments or change staff, the reports will automatically show that.
What's the current active user count on iLearn? I think we've got close, is it close to 4,000?
Yeah.
I think at the last count.
Yeah.
We use dynamic audiences in the main for all of our certifications. Really the reason is because of links in with the question that was asked before. It's so that if somebody drops out of one and goes into another, it's automatically done. We don't have to manage it. It also means when we get new staff in, they're automatically put into the dynamic audience. For set audiences, the only time I've really used a set audience is when we're doing something very specific like a pilot, which isn't kind of one department doing it, it's maybe, you know, a set of 20 people or 30 people or 40.
Yeah.
What was the party vendor involvement? Well, Chambry supported us obviously a lot through the introduction of Ireland. They did all of the data migration, we did all the testing, we had to lean on them very much because this is a brand new system for us. So we had training days, we had numerous phone calls, we were in contact almost daily throughout the whole process.
Yeah, I think we had 3 good admin training days, and then we probably had another 3 or 4 or 5 support days just during that implementation, and then probably a phone call every other day.
Yes.
Oh, and of course, yes, I've just forgot, there was the academy as well, so Emma and her team also went on Totara Academy.
So what's next for the project? So what we're doing at the moment is we are piloting supervision forms within Ireland. We've got about 106 people piloting at the moment. The pilot finishes next Friday. Feedback from it's been very good so far, because currently we don't know how many staff are receiving supervision, and that is very key for us to know. So with this system, we'll be able to report on it, and it will be much more manageable for staff. We also, at the same time, building the appraisal form, because we have an appraisal window which opens in April. So our deadline to get this all done is April. And that is a more complicated form, still using the appraisal form within Totara. And this will be for all staff except medical staff, because they have their own appraisal process. Also, we are looking at the big blue button. That's going to be something we really want to focus on, because we really want to get our staff interacting with the system more in terms of webinars. We believe that this will cut costs for simple things like fire training, information governance, where people currently have to travel for maybe a 1-hour session. We think that this can really provide us with some benefits.
Mm-hmm.